We're moving on to day 2 now in the highlight, the sportingbet.com Queen Mother Champion Chase. A race dominated by one horse in particular, as we'll see when the odds come up. And of course, here we go, Sprinter Sacre, 1-3. Size in Europe, who won the race 2 years ago at 6-1. Finian's Rainbow, the defending champion, at 10-1. And got Mal de Bive, who run on Saturday at 20s with Sanctuary, 40-1 the rest. We've got to start with Sprinter Sacre, Stuart.
Yep.
1-3, probably value for me, to be honest. 13 runs, 11 wins. He's won 7 in a row. He won his last race, the Victor Chandler Chase, by a pulse-quickening 14 lengths. People call him the second coming. Any holes in this horse at all?
No, he's the best horse in training. He really
Right,
is.
yeah.
He's got the speed, he's got the technique. He's pretty faultless, quite frankly. And I thought the performance in the Victor Chandler, where he won by 14 lengths, was absolutely breathtaking. Although there was a farce at the start with the starter, I don't know if you remember, with Mad Moose being given 20 lengths on the field. But yeah, he's pretty bomb-proof. He's unstoppable but unbackable as well, I think, at that price, because I never play at odds on.
Of course, but yeah, he's an exceptional horse. People who say, for me, I heard some people saying, is he the best 2-mile chaser of the last 30 years? Well, calm down. For me, I think he hasn't got any champion chase in his locker yet, in his trophy cabinet. So I'd be reluctant to use that kind of language. And you think of like some Moscow Flyer, masterminded, who come in this quite. But let's see what he can do next
Potentially.
month. Potentially. That's the key word, potentially. Who's he up against? Well, we've got to start with size in Europe, of course. 6-1. Winner in 2011. Actually backed him a big price that day 2 years ago. Disappointed last year. He went off a very short price. Could only finish second to Finian's Rainbow. 11 years old now, getting on a little bit, but it's a decent season this year. 4 runs, 4 wins. He looks as, I wouldn't say as good as ever, but he ain't that decline that you expect from a horse reaching this stage of his career hasn't really materialised yet, has it?
No, I think he is actually possibly as good as ever. To be honest,
you would.
The question is it over 2 miles or is it over 2.5?
Yeah.
And is this the right race for him?
Yeah.
And because I think it might cut up this race even more. I mean, we have sort of 10-1 bar Finian's Rainbow there. I think it could cut up even further.
Yeah.
I'd go for the Ryanair if I were the owners
you?
of Size in Europe. I really would. I think he'd have a great chance in that race. Whereas here, I'm pretty sure he's playing for place money.
Yeah, that's a good shout, definitely. Let's talk about the defending champion, Finian's Rainbow. 10-1 to win this. He surprised me last year by winning this, but he deserved it, and he beat Size in Europe fair and square, you would say, although there was a horrible incident at the last with the fence, which was frankly an embarrassment to the sport. But his one race this season was appalling. He was last in the Amlin Chase back in November. He was almost drowning in the mud that day. It was a really horrific display. And we'll learn a lot more in the next few days because he's supposed to be running in the Ascot Chase on Saturday. Give me your thoughts on Finian's Rainbow.
Disappointing season insofar as he's not had his ground. I think it was desperate in that race where he was last at Ascot, I think. Interrupted prep. I thought he won it well last year, actually, and I was actually on him because he fitted the profile.
Yes.
Coming on from the Arkle. But yeah, I don't think he'll be getting near Sprinter Sacre. And again, this talk of him even going for the Ryanair, I don't think it's clear cut which horses are actually going to go for this race and which are going to run scared. And I just hope it doesn't cut up so much that it becomes a bit of a farce and a walkover.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. And of course, we lost Fleming Star. Well, almost certainly lost Fleming Star. He was supposed to be in the Gold Cup, but of course he finished second in the Irish Hennessy on Saturday. Then it looked like he was going to be rerouted to the Queen Mother Champion Chase. But of course he's got a lung infection. It's been announced in the last 24 hours. And Peter Casey, the trainer, says it's very unlikely his charge will be running at the festival, which is a real shame, isn't it? Because he's been one of the stars of the season, Fleming Star.
He has, although I'm a bit of a naysayer, I think. I'm a bit of a naysayer. Yeah, what had he really done? He'd beaten Big Zeb, an ageing Big Zeb over 2.5, then Sir Deschamps, he beat Sir Deschamps over 2.5 again on heavy ground. And then didn't stay over 3 miles in either the Lexus, where he was beaten by Tidal Bay, the enigmatic Tidal Bay, and then he definitely ran out of steam for me in the Irish Hennessy. I thought actually Sir Deschamps did it a shade easily in the end.
Interesting.
So yeah, naysayer, and it's a shame he doesn't turn up, because he would have really blasted out over 2 miles, I think, and really sort of tested any chinks in Sprinter Sacre's armour. But I don't think. Yeah.
No worries, no worries. Well, let's look at the limited horses in this race that we haven't discussed about yesterday. There's no many at all, really.
No.
Mal de Beaver, who run well on Saturday in the Denman Chase,
Yeah.
20 to 1 here. But a decent French horse. You got Saint-Chouer as well, who I think at one point was single figures to win this race.
Yeah.
Apart from that one at Kempton in between Christmas and New Year in the Desert Orchid Chase, he's been well and truly destroyed twice by Sprinter Sacre.
Yeah.
Anything else, perhaps from an each way point of view? Those two, anything else?
I actually was pretty impressed with Mail de Beaver on Saturday. I thought he ran really well. I thought he jumped spectacularly. And bringing him back in distance is probably the right call. Whether, coming back to 2 miles is the right answer, I don't know. Possibly for place money or the forecast, I could see him running into a place, but yeah, not for the win.
Yeah, so in terms of your bet in the championships, where do you go?
If there is one, I'd probably sit it out, to be honest, but I'd be looking for the forecast. Sprinter Sacre first, followed by something a bit tastier at bigger odds, and I think it'll probably cut up, so probably Mail de Beaver or something like that.
Yeah,